All right, let's get right into it. A lot of people are not going to like hearing this, but making millions doesn't have to take 40 years of grinding away at a job you hate. I mean, sure, being a millionaire in your 50s is fine, but building that kind of wealth while you're young, that's a totally different ballgame, and it's a game you can absolutely win.
And no, this isn't for the trust fund kids. This is for the person who feels like the odds are stacked against them, maybe starting out without a penny to their name. The truth is, you can build serious life-changing wealth in a short amount of time. But, and this is a big but, only if you're willing to completely rewire your brain and change your entire mindset about how the world actually works.
So, you've got a choice. You can take the slow path. You know the one. Follow all the generic advice, put your money in index funds, and hope you get rich when you're too old to enjoy it. Or, you can take the fast path. Today, we're talking about the uncomfortable truths that let you build real wealth from scratch. This is all about breaking the cycle and leaving the crowd in your dust.
So what's the number one thing holding you back? It's not what you think. It's the system itself. It's basically a prison built on this flimsy idea of being realistic, and it is literally engineered to crush your ambition before you even get a chance to start.
Just think about it for a second. From the moment you walk into a classroom for the very first time, you are being conditioned. They're trying to control what you dream about, what you think is even possible, and ultimately, what you're allowed to achieve.
Get this. There's this story about a young kid in a big lecture hall. The teacher tells everyone to write down their dream job, dream car, and dream house. So this kid writes down business owner, Ferrari, and mansion. The teacher then stands in front of the whole class and says, "Life is tough. You probably won't get any of that, so be realistic." That single piece of advice, that's the system in action, and it's designed to keep you average.
Look, if you let that kind of thinking kill your dreams, you will never build wealth. It's that simple. And this isn't some positive thinking fluff. It's a fundamental question. If you don't even believe it's possible, how in the world are you ever going to do the work? So I'm going to ask you, and I want you to really think about it. Who are you letting speak into your life?
Which brings us to a crucial rule. You have to be absolutely ruthless about who you take advice from. I'm not just talking about the fake gurus all over social media. I'm talking about your well-meaning friends, your parents, your relatives. If they haven't built the kind of life and wealth you want for yourself, why on earth would you listen to their financial advice? You only listen to people who have the results you're after. Period.
Okay, so once you've filtered out all that noise, you need a secret weapon. A practical, real-world strategy for smashing through any wall that gets in your way. And it's called the 10 exits strategy. We've all been there, right? You hit a roadblock, something that feels impossible to solve. And you know what? This is the exact moment where the average person just gives up. That's how you stay stuck. So, what do you do instead?
You have to force your brain to play a different game. You stare that problem right in the face, grab a piece of paper, and you write down 10, not one, not two, but 10 different potential solutions. Then you start attacking. If solution number 1 fails, who cares? You move to number 2. That fails, on to number 3. You just don't stop. And here's the real magic behind this. The goal isn't to find the one perfect, elegant answer. The goal is to train your mind to be relentless. It's about building that resilience muscle and cementing the belief deep down that you are not someone who gets defeated by a challenge.
So once you've got the mindset to solve any problem, you need the guts to actually act. And that means getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because let me tell you, your comfort zone is the most dangerous place you can possibly be. Real freedom comes from taking calculated risks. Think about it like this. If Harry Potter had just stayed in that tiny cupboard, safe and miserable, the story would have been over before it began. So are you staying in your own cupboard under the stairs? Because growth, adventure, and all the success you want, it only happens when you step out and face the challenge.
We're always taught that quitting a job is risky. But what's the real risk when you're young and have fewer responsibilities? Is it leaving a dead-end job that's crushing your soul? Or is it staying in that job for 5, 10, 15 years, letting your ambition die a slow, painful death? The real risk is doing nothing.
And look, this isn't just some motivational speech. The numbers back this up. We're told company loyalty is a virtue, but studies show that people who strategically change jobs every few years can boost their lifetime earnings by over 50%. So let me ask you, is staying loyal really the smart move for your wallet?
Okay, this all leads us to the final and honestly the most critical piece of this entire puzzle. It's an asset that every single one of us has, but it can either work for you or it can completely destroy you. I'm talking about the double-edged sword of time.
Because when you're starting out with nothing, it's so easy to think that money is what you need most. That if you just had more cash, everything would be easier. But you'd be dead wrong. Your most powerful asset, the one thing that can make you truly wealthy, is something else entirely.
It's time. Time is the ultimate amplifier. When you invest, time is the magic ingredient that creates that insane exponential growth. But if you waste it, it becomes the ultimate destroyer of your potential. It's an opportunity you can never, ever get back.
You don't believe me? A famous study by Fidelity looked at 4 decades of the stock market. It found that if you were invested the whole time, but missed just the 10 single best days in the market, your long-term gains would have been slashed by 55%. More than half. Just gone. The cost of sitting on the sidelines is catastrophic.
So here's the bottom line. Every single day, you are making a choice. The longer you wait to invest, to take that calculated risk, to start solving problems instead of complaining about them, the harder this whole game gets. So the final question is simple, but it changes everything. Are you using your time as an ally, or are you letting it become your worst enemy? The choice is yours.
All right, let's get right into it. Forget everything they taught you in school about wealth taking a lifetime to build. We're here to break the code. We're going to hack the system, and I'm going to give you the blueprint to build your wealth, not in 50 years, but starting now.
Okay, look at this number. Just look at it. -55%. What if I told you that one simple, tiny mistake, a mistake you're probably making right now, could literally cost you more than half of all the wealth you could ever build?
And look, this isn't some guess, right? This is a hard fact from a massive multi-decade study by Fidelity. If you miss just the 10 best days in the market, poof, over half your gains, gone. So the biggest risk isn't some crazy market crash, it's you, sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the perfect time to jump in. You just got to be in the game, period.
And this is why. Your most powerful asset, your ultimate weapon, it's not money, it's time. Every single day you wait is a day you're giving up the incredible magic of compounding. That's why starting right now, today, is completely non-negotiable.
Okay, I get it. That's the big question, isn't it? How in the world do you jump into this game without risking everything you have on your very first move? Well, you don't go in blind. You run a simulation first.
It's called paper trading, and you need to think of it as your personal flight simulator for the stock market. This is your safe zone. This is where you test your strategies, where you crash and burn with fake money, and where you learn the controls before you put a single one of your hard-earned dollars on the line.
But once you're in the game for real, there is a giant, red, shiny self-destruct button on your dashboard. It's called leverage, and you must never, ever press it. Let me tell you a story you need to hear. So let me tell you about a guy I knew. This man was on the top 50 rich list in the UK. I'm talking mansions, ridiculous parties with fireworks that lit up the whole sky, the whole shebang. He had absolutely everything you could imagine. So one night, I just had to ask him, man, how did you do it? And he told me that his huge business empire, that wasn't his real secret. He leaned in and said his real money, that came from leveraging his investments, from playing the market with massive amounts of borrowed cash.
In this right here, this breaks it down perfectly. Without leverage, your risk is capped. The absolute worst that can happen is you lose what you put in. That's it. But with leverage, you're playing with someone else's money. Your potential for loss isn't just big, it's basically infinite. You can lose everything you have and then some.
And that is exactly what happened to him. The investment group he was tied up with completely collapsed. And because he was leveraged up to his eyeballs, he didn't just lose his investment. No, he lost it all. The house, the fortune, everything. He was completely wiped out in just a few months.
So the lesson here is brutal, but it's crystal clear. Never invest in something you don't fully understand, and never, ever, ever put all of your eggs in one basket. So let's talk about the escape plan. Let's build a foundation that can't be knocked over.
This is your financial shield, the blueprint for safety, the 3-fund portfolio. It is so simple, it's genius. You're not trying to be a hero and pick the next big stock. No, you're buying the entire US market, the entire international market, and then you're balancing it all out with the stability of bonds. It is the ultimate defense against putting all your faith in one fragile little basket.
But look, investing, even smart investing like this, that's just one piece of the puzzle. True financial freedom, the kind that can't be wiped out by one bad market turn,
That comes from building an actual empire. And this is what a real empire looks like. It is not one source of income. It's a whole network. You've got physical shops, maybe a distribution company. You've got affiliate income coming in online, ad revenue, stock dividends just rolling in while you sleep, rental checks. You're building a fortress. If one wall gets hit, the other streams of income make sure your empire never, ever falls.
So, here's the final piece of the code. I want you to forget everything the system taught you. Be realistic is the worst advice anyone has ever given. It's code for stay in your lane and play it small. Real wealth is built with courage, with patience, and with the absolute refusal to accept a realistic life when you're capable of so much more.
If this fired you up, if you're ready to learn more strategies to build your wealth, then subscribe to Investor Mindset right now. Hit that like button to show me you're in this fight. And I want you to go down to the comments and tell me the very first step you are going to take after watching this. The blueprint is yours now. The excuses are all gone. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Start building.